Welcome back to Stay Colorful. For those of you that know me, I am Jonathan the Painter. And for those of you that don't know me, I am still Jonathan the Painter. This is going to be a few minutes each week that we take, carve out, give ourselves some colorful space to do whatever we want, basically. It's the one thing when I was going through everything with my dad and he was diagnosed with cancer and I was sitting in the waiting rooms, it was the one thing where there felt like there was no right or wrong, was just being colorful and expressive. So continuing on our no brush theme here, because we did the hearts for Valentine's Day, I've got these shoes to do as a commission. These sneakers, met these awesome friends. I call everybody that comes into my studio as a friend. Met these awesome friends over the summer, and the dad was super nice, and his daughter really loved the artwork, and she plays basketball. And so long story short, they live a bunch of states away, but he got her these shoes, sent them to me to paint them so that she could wear these. So these are Adidas. I really like these. These are really nice. I'll show you these right here. So, and the other thing is I've kind of taped them off. I don't know, they've got like they're Adidas, the tag's still on them. They are Hoops 3.0 mids. So they had seen the Air Jordans that I had done. So they kind of wanted something a little less color, but still super colorful. So I figured we'd do this together. The first thing I'd say is I did tape it off. I'm just looking. I ran out of green tape or blue tape or painter's tape, kind of whatever you want to call that. But usually I do try to use this stuff. But as you could see, I was at the end of my rope here with the green tape. So I went with a very less useful, but will still suit our purposes, like packing tape. So that's what you can kind of see. It's got like the reflection on here. And what I did was I kind of like taped off the lace edges. I taped off a little of the back fabric here. So I'm just gonna stick with kind of the leather and the, I don't know, the main part of the shoe here, and maybe not the laces, although it would all look awesome just if you're gonna do this on your own. Like you could get any pair of shoes and do this. I've done this with my kids. We've painted on our shoes. We're gonna use acrylic paint. We're going to use the rainbow version of this stuff. So this is like, again, just craft smart. This was from Michael's. So I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and I have a black and white. The white, actually, we might not use. If you can guess why, I don't know if it's going to show up, although it will cross over some of the other colors really well. So, you know, it's kind of a game time decision, and you can introduce any colors you want. You could really go, you know, with a simple color scheme, a black and a red, or, you know, if you or your family member or somebody you know, a friend, loved one, has favorite colors, team colors, you could get any white shoe, black shoe, any color shoe and do this, what I'm about to do. It's just a lot of fun. So I do put it up on my little table here, so it's just kind of easier at arm's height to do this when I'm just squirting on color. So really, you know, start, and I'll practice a little, which is why my floor is so covered with all kinds of paint. But you just kind of, you start with a little, and it's kind of nice because they'll go together when you hit them up together, when they're side by side. You know, there'll be some continuity between some of the lines, which I do like. So, you know, I could do that, and we could do the back too. Like we'll turn this thing and kind of and hit it up at some different angles. But you know, so we start off with the red, and then, you know, definitely hit it up with some orange here. You know, let's give it a little even on the side. Throw a little yellow in the mix. So again, we're going to do this, then we're going to let it dry, and then we're going to hit it up again because it's so easy to do that. And that way it's like, you don't overdo it, although I probably will always overdo it. It's kind of part of the fun of it. But as you can already see, I mean, it looks like the table come to life. Oop, as I kick my easel. So we got green, red, orange, yellow, green. Let's add a little bit of green into the mix here. You know, crisscross how you squirt it. And it's like the amount of pressure you squeeze as you're holding it, it's going to do different things. So honestly, you could practice on cardboard if you wanted. I do that a lot of times. I'll just take pieces of cardboard. And then what's cool about that, this will be another video, is that we'll take a piece of cardboard and we'll take an old frame we find, and we will paint a really modern painting with just squirting and colors and rainbow, and we'll stick it in some kind of old reclaimed, found frame, whether we find it at the thrift store or wherever it is. I think that might be a fun project. So what are we on? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, blue, blue is here. So yeah, let's add a little blue into the mix here. The one thing to note here too is when I squirt paint, like I do it on the table, but some of it still does get on the ground. So maybe wear socks that like aren't your Sunday best socks. You know, maybe some socks that you don't mind with a little color on the bottom of. If you're in socks, I'm in socks. It's my studio, so I like to be comfortable. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Violet, just so you know. I'm not breaking any rules here. I'm going in the rainbow order. Right? And so that's kind of like the front feels pretty good. You know, you could always, I think I'll wait to do a lot of the back. Yeah, see, I'm not even getting a really good angle at the back. So I'm going to let these dry. It's going to get on the soles because it'll look kind of cool too, because it'll get on the soles of the shoes a little bit, or underneath, whatever not the soles in the shoe, but the bottoms of the shoe. I think that'll be cool. So then I think we're going to add a little black because we can, and because I think it'll add like a nice pop. Maybe not a lot. Maybe we'll just do a little streak across. There we go. A little more. Yeah, that actually looks nice. And some of the nozzles as they dry. So I took this nozzle from an old purple one. Let's see if I can show you that. Right. So it's like it's a little clogged up. So it's a little thinner of a line, which is kind of neat. But this is good. This is a good start. So I think what we're going to do is let this dry and see what we think. It's also going to start to, I don't know if you could see it here, but it's going to start to run a little bit, which is also kind of cool. So it's going to do its own thing. And that is part of the very organic nature of these kinds of art projects. Set it in motion, and then you go with the flow. And there's, like I said, there's no right or wrong answers. It's going to be colorful. I'm going to put another kind of, not layer on it, but what I might do is just like add a few more squirts of color once this dries. See, this is going to be about, what time is it now? It's like 2 o'clock now. I'd say by about 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe like 2-3 hours, it's going to be mostly dry. So some of the heavier paint buildup, that might take a little bit longer. You know, we're going to pull this off too at some point. I mean, we could even, am I that impatient? Am I that impatient? I'm going to peel it away now. And the answer is yes. It's one of those rhetorical questions. Ooh, I did a pretty good job taping this on though. See, this is where I get myself into trouble because I'll probably put my fingerprint now somewhere on this exact spot. I was hoping not to, but here is where you get the idea. There we go. So you get the idea there. So there, it comes off pretty easy. Now the tape's off. Although you could make the argument I should have left it on because I still have to do the backside. But that's a conversation for another day. And until then, we've got these cool shoes. So I can zoom in a little on them. Lots of color. Again, I'm just being super colorful with this. You could choose any colors you want. But at the end of the day, it's just so much fun to do. And I hope you give something like this a shot. I'm definitely going to be doing this again. Let me zoom out in a second. These are the Jordans that they saw. These are the original. Watch, I'll get some painting on these too. I had done these a while ago. And so I leave these in my studio. And every once in a while, people come in and they really like the shoes. And so I've been doing some acrylic paint, some shoes, and it's been fun. But hope you have a colorful day out there, and definitely see you soon. And thanks for inspiring me to stay colorful. And I hope you're inspired to do the same. Talk to you soon.